If this message reaches you, it is meant for you. For anyone seeking inner peace today, you are not the mind. Listen. Have you ever wondered why Jesus made one of the most astonishing statements in spiritual history when he said, "You are gods"? Not as metaphor, not as poetry, not as exaggeration, but as a revelation about your real identity. Most people hear those words and either ignore them, fear them, or explain them away. But what if Jesus meant every single part of it literally? What if he was pointing to a truth about your being that has been buried beneath fear, conditioning, and generations of misunderstanding? Today I want to take you into that truth, not as theory, not as religion, not as theology, but as lived experience. Because the moment you grasp why Jesus said, "You are gods," something finally unlocks. Something ancient inside you remembers. Something liberates. Something awakens. Let me begin with a story. A woman named Rebecca once told me, "I pray every night, but it feels like I'm begging someone who isn't listening." She said her words felt like they were bouncing off the ceiling. She felt abandoned, forgotten, empty, until one night, at 2 a.m, she dropped to the floor in exhaustion and whispered, "God, where are you?" And in the silence that followed, something unexpected happened. Not a voice, not a miracle, not an angel, just a stillness inside her like a whisper without sound saying, "I am not outside you." That simple realization didn't magically fix her life overnight, but it shattered the lie of separation. And that one shift changed her relationship with the divine forever. This is the doorway Jesus was opening when he said, "You are gods." It wasn't ego. It wasn't arrogance. It wasn't superiority. It was identity. He was revealing the same truth that mystics like Joel Goldsmith spent their entire lives trying to express. The divinity you seek is the divinity you are. Most of us have lived under one wound our whole lives, the belief that we are separate from God. This single belief is the root of anxiety, fear, loneliness, shame, and spiritual exhaustion. We pray like orphans begging a distant parent. We speak to God as if he is far away, in the sky, in a building, somewhere else. But notice something. Jesus never spoke from separation. Not once. He said, "I and my Father are one." And he didn't say that to prove he was special. He said it to reveal what is true of every soul. Imagine an ocean. Now imagine a wave rising from it. The wave is not separate from the ocean. It is the ocean, temporarily shaped in form. That is you. You are not a human being reaching for God. You are divine life expressing itself in human form. Your personality is the wave. Your fears are the wave. Your memories are the wave. But your essence, your substance, your origin is the ocean. Jesus was not elevating humans above God. He was revealing that humans are expressions of God. A man from Texas once shared something with me. He said, "I prayed like someone hoping to win the lottery." He begged God to fix everything in his life. One day, after losing his job, he cried out in desperation, "Lord, why aren't you helping me?" And suddenly, a quiet knowing rose inside him. How can I give you what you already contain? That one shift changed everything. He stopped praying as a beggar and started praying as someone who shared divine inheritance. He didn't pray to attract God. He prayed to align with God. Look at Jesus' healings closely. He never begged God. He never pleaded. He never waited for heaven to intervene. He acknowledged the divine presence already there. Rise. Your faith has made you whole. Open your eyes. Jesus wasn't summoning heaven. He was revealing heaven already present in the person before him. This is why he said, "The kingdom is within you," not above you, not somewhere else, not after you die. Within you, right here, right now. When you shift from begging to recognizing, prayer becomes powerful. Prayer stops being a request and becomes an awakening. You begin to see that you are not talking to a distant deity. You are reawakening the divine that is your essence. One of the most touching stories I ever heard came from a 9-year-old girl in a hospital bed. She told her mother, "I don't talk to God outside me. I talk to God inside." She wasn't being philosophical. She was being instinctive. Children remember what adults forget. And every time she felt pain, she whispered, "You are here, and I am in you." Her recovery stunned doctors. But anyone who understands spiritual identity knows she aligned with her source, not her fear. Jesus didn't say, "One day you will become divine." He said, "You are God's. Not someday. Not when you're perfect. Not when you've healed everything. Not when your life finally gets better. But right now, as you are." The divine nature is your identity, not a reward. You don't earn it. You remember it. Peace is not something you chase. It is your nature. Love is not something you acquire. It is your nature. Strength is not something you develop. It is your nature. Spiritual awakening is not becoming something new. It is removing what never belonged to you. Here's a simple morning practice inspired by Joel Goldsmith. Sit quietly for a few minutes without asking for anything, without trying to fix anything, and simply recognize, divine life is expressing as me. What I seek is already within. I am not separate. That's it. No begging, no forcing, no rituals. Just recognition. Because the divine is not attracted to you, it is already your substance. A man named Daniel once told me his life was suffocating him. Bills, stress, relationships, work. He tried everything. Manifestation, affirmations, motivation. Nothing shifted. Then he tried one simple practice. Whenever he felt overwhelmed, he paused, put a hand on his heart, and whispered, "I cannot fix this alone, but I am not alone." That moment wasn't desperate. It wasn't begging. It was acknowledgement. Within days, solutions appeared. Not because God suddenly decided to intervene, but because Daniel finally stopped blocking the flow of divine intelligence already within him. When you finally understand why Jesus said, "You are God's," something inside you changes forever. You begin living from cause, not effect. From identity, not insecurity. From oneness, not separation. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety softens. Lack consciousness dissolves. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and begin seeing life as an unfolding expression of the divine through you. You stop chasing God and realize that what you've been seeking is the one living your very breath. You no longer crave external validation because the source of validation is within you. You no longer beg for love because you are made of it. You no longer live in fear of tomorrow because the wisdom that shapes galaxies is guiding you from within. This is the transformation Jesus intended when he said, "You are God's," not arrogance, awareness, not ego, awakening, not superiority, identity. If something in you stirred as you heard this, if something inside whispered, "This feels true," write in the comments. I am divine expression. Your words don't just express truth, they activate it. If this message brought clarity or peace to your heart, gently tap the like button so more seekers can find it. And if you want to walk deeper into this path of awakening, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because each week we explore teachings that dissolve fear, awaken identity, and reveal the divine already living within you. There is a video waiting for you right now, one that takes this understanding even deeper. Click it and continue the journey. You are not separate. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are God's expression, discovering itself.